So, is it ever safe to let your children use skincare products? We're joined now by leading skin expert, Dr Amiee Vyas. Hello, good morning to you. Now, little girls have always been interested in makeup, and I remember playing with my mum's makeup when she was little. But this is something a little different, isn't it?
This has concerns not only from a skin health perspective, but also from the psychological point of view. Of course, children are going to learn by imitation. They look at their parents and they copy what we do. And I think it's important that we're mindful as parents as well, and that the kind of messaging that we're giving out to them emulates something that's going to help them be raised into emotionally strong, resilient kids. And that's where the difficulty is here. So when we see a skincare line with images like this, with perfect, youthful skin, being told to now put a skin mask on. Now, think of all the skincare that we get marketed towards adults. We're trying to increase skin turnover, make our skin youthful and plump. That child already has all of this. That child already has perfect skin, and by showing them these images, we're literally saying to them, by putting this on, you need this, and this is linked to your self-worth, and I think that's where the concern is. On the face of it, it looks really fun, and I can understand why someone would say, oh, let's put a little mask on and it looks like it's play. But between 3 and 5, our children are learning their sense of self. They are learning their confidence, and we are then embedding during this time that this skin routine is something that you need to do from now. Let's let them be children for now, I think. And then from a safety perspective, from the skin health perspective, we have thinner skin barriers. They are not as developed. Sensitive skin. We have an increased skin cell turnover, so therefore the skin is going to be more likely to be reactive, to have reactions, allergic reactions, irritations. So just because something says that the ingredients are safe, that doesn't necessarily mean that we require them, and that's the main thing here. This is not something that is required, and also some of them have been targeted as a post-sun exposure type mask, and that's almost implicating that sun exposure is okay. And when your child is this age, the only skincare you really do require is sunscreen to protect from the skin. And then if you have a dry skin condition, something like eczema, then you want to start using the correct emollients or moisturizers. But this is something that you should seek professional advice for, because as we've spoken about Sephora Kids and so on, we are seeing so many children as young as 7 and even below using ingredients that are not suitable for their skin because they're formulated for adults to increase the skin cell turnover, to make them look youthful, and the kids don't need this.
Lots of response to this. It seems like a new episode of Black Mirror, skincare for toddlers. Seriously, got to do better than that. The signal it sends to young girls is that they shouldn't age. They're never going to get older. This is so wrong. It's so harming. Just because they want to do what mummy does doesn't mean they should. We need to be clear that the products that she's suggesting that she's selling aren't harmful for children. That's what they say.
They're not harmful, but as a child or even as an adult, when you start using one thing, you like it, right? Then you want the next thing, and then you want the next thing. So these products are not harmful for kids. The skin does not require them, but they haven't got ingredients in that will harm the skin. That's the first thing. And there's nothing wrong with playing dress up. However, when you are doing this, then you want another product and another product. It's feeding into, OK, let's use something else. And if those products then have got those ingredients, the skin can be irritated.
So it's about educating the parents, essentially. What are the products that should absolutely, or the ingredients that should absolutely not be applied to a child's
and we have
skin?
some of them here. So the ingredients that absolutely should not be applied are strong acids, things like your glycolic acid, salicylic acid, lactic acid, your retinol for sure. These are products, ingredients that we don't want to have in our products. And we want to make sure that even if it's a nice, pretty bottle, make sure your children know this is not for them. And personally, I'm an aesthetics and skin doctor. I live and breathe skin health and all these treatments, but I also have a young daughter, and I'm very mindful about what I do in front of my child and what I don't. And we can teach children, you know, self-care is a difficult word here. I think we can teach them personal hygiene, we can teach them brushing their teeth and washing their face and doing all of that. But I don't sit there and do my full skincare routine in front of my child because I know she's going to start copying, because that's what children do. And then the self-care side of things is also important. Even in the clinic, I talk about skincare for adults, but simplifying it down because we have way too much even as adults.
Yeah.
So for kids, it needs to be super simple. Yes, it can be part of self-care as we're older, but why do we need self-care as adults? Because we're working so much, we're living these cortisol-driven lives, we're looking at screens all day, we're exhausted. And kids aren't having that at the moment. So I think there are other ways that we can teach emotional resilience. We can play, we can, you know, teach sports, we can teach music. I grew up in a family that, I'm Indian, so we had Ayurveda and meditation as breath work as part of something I was taught when I was very, very young to cultivate that emotional resilience. And I think those things are going to be much more helpful to our children. They're going to get all this stuff as they get older anyway. There's no getting away from it.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Certainly the response, I think the outpouring of sort of controversy surrounding it is a strong message, because it sounds a lot like a lot of parents, a lot of people in the industry are sort of saying, goodness me, this feels like a step too far.
It's too early. It's too early, in my opinion. And I think if children have some kind of skin concern, and as a parent, if you are concerned about your child, then seek professional help from either your GP, at the very least a pharmacist, before you go and buy skincare for your child.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.